Yeah. Esto es breve, ya tus pasos se acercan. Tú me debes una noche con maldad. Yo soy preso de esos besos y tu piel. Yo sé que eso se repite otra vez. Baby, te quiero para mí, tomando y viendo Netflix. Ya no se trata de sentir, se trata solo de fluir. Baby, te quiero para mí, tomando y viendo Netflix. Ya no se trata de sentir, se trata solo de fluir. Más por DM me escribiste antes de llegar al hotel. Me conoces, no soy de eso. Yo te hago completico el proceso y empiezo a tocarte. Yo soy tu vicio, espero que no te asombre. También puedo besarte, ser loco y romántico a la vez. Baby, te quiero para mí, tomando y viendo Netflix. Ya no se trata de sentir, se trata solo de fluir. Baby, te quiero para mí, tomando y viendo Netflix. Ya no se trata de sentir, se trata solo de fluir. Mi Pikachu, pues yo te elijo, siempre apunto a lo fijo. Por eso estoy contigo y porque la pasamos genial. Es un castigo, es solo claro y yo puedo ser tu nena. Sé que tú quieres más de eso. Flaca, tírame ese hueso que él no te dio, lo que te di. Y no solo hablo del sexo, lo que yo te di. Baby, te quiero para mí, tomando y viendo Netflix. Ya no se trata de sentir, se trata solo de fluir. Baby, te quiero para mí, tomando y viendo Netflix. Ya no se trata de sentir, se trata solo de fluir.
Aquel día el instinto nos decía que esa noche juntico no quería, que las ganas bebé nos ganaría, pero no fue así. Vamos lento, ya, que si nos apuramos no disfrutamos del momento, ya, y lo vamos a arruinar. Dale lento, ya, dile a tus amigas que hoy no vas para afuera, que estás en la escuela y vamos a jugar. Ella sabe que quiero a mi mamacita. Ella también quiere que seamos felices. Ella, la que se apresura a la vueltica. Ella es intimidez. Como la ves, no le importa dónde y cuándo. Frenada no es, yo no soy el que la mando. Nunca lo seré, su carácter no es de niña, que la puede controlar cualquiera. Y me encanta, yo lo sé, independiente. Vamos lento y verás. Y me encanta, yo lo sé, independiente. Vamos lento y verás. Vamos lento, ya, que si nos apuramos no disfrutamos del momento, ya, y lo vamos a arruinar. Dale lento, ya, dile a tus amigas que hoy no vas para afuera, que estás en la escuela y vamos. Los 7 días de la semana te doy de mañana y consejos sabes que no es. Te doy el desquite, que me quites todas esas ganas que te tengo, mujer. Todo el mundo
just met you, but you look. Oh girl, you blow my mind. I know what I would like to do, but you just keep on talking. I see your dog needs walking. Your folk drive you insane. I know, yeah, that's true. Of course, you ain't the one to blame. Keep on talking to me. You keep on telling me your dreams. You keep on talking to me, but I just wanna see you move. Yeah, I just wanna see you move. I just wanna see you move. Yeah, I just wanna see you move. Sure, I like to listen. It's not like I don't wanna know. It's just that you've been talking to me 3 nights in a row. I think it's time to let go. Forget the past, just lose control. 'Cause life's too short for yapping. Come on and dance, come give me soul. You keep on talking to me. You keep on talking to me. You keep on talking. You keep on talking to me. You keep on telling me your dreams. You keep on talking, but I just wanna see you move. I just wanna see you move. I just wanna see you move. I just wanna see you.
I saw you from the beginning. You were clearly out of my league. You didn't look at where I was standing. I thought that we would never meet. But here we are now, two restless souls, lost in a room full of strangers. I wanna wash that sad look from your face, and maybe you can keep me away from dangers. Let's sneak out together, baby, and spend some time, just you and me. I wanna set you free when no one else is there to see. Everybody knows you're a lady, yeah. But your eyes are telling me that there is more to see. Let's make our own destiny. Let's sneak out together, baby. Yeah. Please, baby. This evening will soon be over, and we'll be back in the roles we played. Always caught in the charades of life, longing for a sweeter day. But this can be our moment. Let's seize it here and now. Let's leave this room full of strangers. Oh, you'll wash this sad look from my face, and I'll keep you away from dangers. Let's stick out together, baby. Oh, and spend some time, just you and me. I wanna set you never gonna let you go, never gonna let you go. Oh, I'm never gonna let you go, never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go, never gonna let you go. Oh.
What's going on? What's going on?
In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right. No.
Yeah.
It's not hard to fool me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yes. Yeah. Lead the way. I follow. No need to say. No. Where we are heading.
How we doing tonight?
I follow.
In the chat room. Put your age, gender, city. Let's get it. Come on. Woo!
It's not a problem, no. 'Cause I know what I'm getting into. Yes. Yeah. And nothing can stop me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way. I follow. No need to say. Where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell your good lies, 'cause I'll find no better one. Yeah, susceptible now. Before the moment.
Hope everybody's having a good night tonight. We're gonna have a good show today, see. All right, let's get it. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to what is fast becoming one of your favorite weeknight destinations. This show over here, we just call late night. Until we get a better name, we just gonna call it late night. Late night with me. All right, let's get it. So, you see you saw that crazy woman's picture. If you don't know who that person is, that's a character from the TV show Orange is the New Black, and her name is Crazy Eyes. She's known for being a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. A little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She's known to be out there. why did I decide to use Crazy Eyes to kick this broadcast off? Well, I had to ask the question, what's going on? What's driving black women crazy today? And see, I use crazy for a very specific reason. Listening to some of these phone calls, listening to some of these folks talk, I'm starting to wonder, in a lighthearted, joking, but yet serious way, are y'all hearing some of the stuff I'm hearing? And we're talking about over a period. Calls, listen to some of these. In a lighthearted, joking, but yet over the period of a couple of months, man, I'm starting to really just like, hey, man, well, anywho, I can show you better than I can tell you. I have been working with a team behind the scenes to try to kind of scour through, hours and hours and hours of tape, of recordings and calls and things like that, to try to put together really just like a snippet to kind of bring it all home. But as fate would have it, I found one Zoom call that kind of rolled everything up into one nice little ball. One nice little ball. Now, I'm not going to say, and it's not the caller. We're going to use the caller as an avatar for what we're talking about. Okay? Now, remember, folks, we need to keep the like to dislike ratio up over 50%. Moderators, we are going to have some folks come over here that are new. As long as they're not being rude, let them type. Don't let them get, as long as they're not throwing insults at folks, damn sure at me. If they are, time out. Here's the thing. In the chat room, do not highlight me. Don't put an ampersand in my name. That's you trying to get my attention. If you want to get my attention, put it in super chat. Today, we got to talk about what's driving black women crazy. Some black women crazy today. What's driving some of these women crazy today? Because that's the only explanation I can think for trying to hear some of the things that I've been hearing about. Listening to women who are average everyday women who are aiming so high. I mean, aiming high, like, we call them 49ers. A woman is a 4, but she's aiming for a 9. That's driving a lot of women kind of crazy today. All these different books and magazines and tours and seminars on, shows. I think that's having it's having a nice effect on driving the average woman crazy. Too much information. Social media for sure is helping to drive a lot of otherwise that in years gone by would have been normal women out of their mind. Why? Because on social media, something called Keeping Up with the Joneses takes on exponential 24/7 front center appeal. What else is helping to drive women crazy today? The sheer lack of men. You don't got you don't have a man. You don't have a husband or a boyfriend or a long-term significant other. Sitting in that house by yourself. On that social media. Driving yourself crazy. And then the longer you're there, you start looking at all these things that I just talked about, and it takes the average woman's mindset and makes it unrealistic to where she begins to be darn near impossible to please. somebody in my chat room, somebody in my Facebook group today. Yeah, I'm gonna read what it said. I'm gonna read it. Somebody in my Facebook group today said something, and I had to take a step back. I had to take a step back because I was just like, what? Did I just read this? And yeah, I did just read that. Yeah, I want to go ahead and read this. I'm not going to say the person's name, but I was absolutely floored by what I was reading from a woman. Otherwise normal woman, but a woman. So, the post read something like this. As a high value man, what are some great first date options? Someone just tried to hurt my feelings for the dinner option. Now, don't raise your hand, and if anybody says this person's name, I'm going to ban you from the channel and ban you from the group. But this was perfect timing for this broadcast. And I said, what? What is this? And basically, turns out that this person, here's the offense. Here's the offense. The guy I was talking to is a business executive. And for a first date, he either wanted to go golfing, horseback riding, and then a picnic, of which he turned it down. And then basically asked the question, I think a first date should be pretty formal, this or that. And then maybe after date 5 or 10, you'll do something like that. My reaction, I will tell you exactly what my reaction was. My reaction was, wait, what? An executive, somebody you called an executive, wanted to take you on the first date to go to the country club or go golfing or go horseback riding and then a picnic, but you turn that down for a regular old me ass dinner? My response was, wait, what? And I said, well, hold on, let me go get my katana. Wait, really my scalpula. And then turn on the deep fryer. That was my response because I was just so taken back that a woman could turn an executive down for a first date, golf or horseback riding, knowing most black people have never been on a horseback. For Papado? Now, and what it reminded me of, it was kind of reminding me of just where we are in male-female relations. That OMG, insert the entire sound effect board. What the absolute French toast? Turning down golf or horseback riding for a standard dinner. And I'll be honest, truthfully, I don't think most women would want to know what that implies to a high value man. I'm going to do an entire video on this subject because this is what I mean by impossible to please. We're talking about a first date and an executive wants to take you out to a golf course, a country club, or horseback riding and a picnic. And you want to veto that? Impossible to please. Driving women crazy today. What's another thing that's driving our sisters crazy today? Living above their means. Remember the day before, I had a woman on talk about she divorced her husband because he wouldn't work. Put him out the house because he wouldn't work. But here's the thing. You got to still work. just as hard to live in a house with you and 2 kids as it would be you and 2 kids and a husband. And obviously the man is working, or else he couldn't be at your house 2-3 days a week. He's rather self-sufficient. Now, what it sounds like is like far too many other things. People get it, black men marrying black women wanting the world, and black men not being able to provide the world, but try to, and then fail at trying to provide more than beyond their means. Then he fails, something happens, he cannot deliver, then she leaves him. And then she ends up working just like she would have had if she would have just approached it the same way. You know what? Instead of going for the $500,000 house, let's get the $180,000 house. Oh yeah, we're gonna get all up into this. Because I've heard the same calls you've heard. How many women have you heard say they want a guy making $60,000 a year? Every woman wants 2 to 3 kids and not to work. And have no idea what you're really asking for. Because that ain't your money. That man needs to be able to pay for it. And black men, make no mistake, black women want and expect you to pay all of the bills, no matter what they say. If you get an American black woman, understand something. She expects you to pay 100% of the bills all the time, and that's fine. Then you need to live at your budget, and so does she. And if she can't live at your budget, don't get with her. But do not try to be with somebody who's going to try to work you to death to keep up with the Joneses. Driving crazy. Because when you're going crazy, you'll be willing to work and be alone. When you're going crazy, you are willing to be picky when you got no rights to be picky. When you're going crazy, you act childish and immature because you think you are the shit. And one of the biggest, and what do we notice that when a lot of these women are starting to go, and if it don't apply to you, let it fly, but sis, just go back over the last 2 months and you'll hear it. You'll hear a lot of believing that they deserve the best of everything and that they're above it all, like they literally need to be modern day royalty, because there's a lacking of empathy, a lacking of sympathy, a strong amount of selfishness. This country is bred, I've heard somebody say this country breeds narcissists. But I need you to understand that for the women that fall into this group, leaving a man, taking a man from his children to go get on welfare. I mean, you've heard the calls. I don't want to work. I don't want to go back. I mean, it sounds crazy. But the one thing that drives them crazy more than anything else? Becky Boo. Becky Boo is the key to start the crazy engine. Why? Because BGS probably talk about this better, that Miss N syndrome. In this country, the average black woman walks around seeming to think that white women, average everyday white women, live like royalty. When 72% of them white women have to work. 72% of married white women got to work either full or part-time. 72% of mothers with children have to work either full or part-time. But let black women tell you, white women walk around eating grapes and not having to work, and their husbands build, corporations out of diamonds. But you know what? Better than I can tell you. Let me show you. Because we got a case study in what's going wrong. And here's the thing. I'm not doing this to roast sisters. I'm doing this to draw women's attention to this. So you can decide whether or not you're in this category, you're approaching this category, or what to do if you have people in that category, because there is no denying it. over the last 4 or 5 months, week in, week out, month in, month out, you got women who were 5'4", 200-pound teachers talking about divorcing their husbands to level up. Average, everyday women thinking that they are better than black men. This is borderline crazy. And I found one call that kind of has it all together. Let's get the likes up. Oh, we got to get the likes up before we go any further. You guys, what do you think? What do you think, guys? Does that make sense? Give the likes up. Good them up, good them up, good them up. Get the likes up. 3, 2, 1. Turn the volume down. Take your headphones off because if we don't get them up, we're gonna drop it. I will cut the intermission if we don't get the likes up. All right, let's go.
I'm 30.
Okay. The topic is, why do high value men love white women? What do you have for me on the topic?
So I believe that it is.
He side heavy.
It's a status. So I believe that.
Okay. The topic is, why do high value men love white women? What do you have for me on the topic?
So I believe that it is.
He side heavy.
It's a status. It's a status thing.
Okay.
And I do believe that it's a potential that because white women can open up certain doors.
Understand, this sister said that I think the topic was, why do high value men want white women? That was this video I did last week. And listen to this sister talking, and she said, I think they want it because white women is status symbol. Because white women come from, certain places that can open up doors. Listen to how she is talking about white woman.
And they come from certain families. They
come from certain families.
School, so I know a nice amount of like affluent young black men that are coming up into the Henrys, and they are coming and approaching these stages. And as I see them and they are marrying out, a lot of them are marrying white women. I just talked to one of my really good guy friends who is black, and he lives in San Diego, and he has a white girlfriend, and he's looking to marry her.
Does she come from an affluent family?
She does.
Okay, so you went to a boarding school, but now we can't say that all these women. What percentage of women do you say come from these affluent families that can open doors for men? What percentage would you say? I just asked, what percentage of white women come from these affluent families that can open doors? Because when you hear them talk about white women, they talk as though they all are like this. But I wanted to get clarity. I know I don't see a bunch of Princess Dianas walking around here. I don't see a bunch of tiaras and pumpkin carriages around here. Okay. 70%. She said 70% of white women come from these kind of affluent kind of backgrounds with these carriages and all. But even if you make allowance to the fact that she was saying, no, Kevin, she ain't saying 70% of all white women. She's saying 70% of the white women at this private boarding school. That number is still far too high. But think about it. 7 out of 10 white women come from families that just, they got it made. And I'm going to hang out here for a minute, because if you listen to how a lot of sisters talk about white women and their lives and relationships and their families and this, it's in this Disney princess idyllic in the big house kind of thing. And if any of you actually know white people, it ain't nowhere close to reality. The average white family in this country is broke too. Now, over here, I talk about high value men and higher value women. But today, we're going to talk about a little bit of both sides, because you got average women wanting high value men. And why? So they can have the Miss Ann fantasy. When you hear a woman who got pregnant at 17, had twins at 18, and at 25 talking about, I want a high value man, even though I don't know none, there's none around my area. I know I can meet some. I don't know what they want, but I know I want it if I find it. Why? Because he got money and I wouldn't have to work no more.
I would say 70.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Well, damn, dude, this came through with the big donation.
all right,
Wait
and
a
what
minute.
kind of doors we talking about?
Whoa, you just came in with a $300 donate.
Well, damn. That's crazy.
It could be anything, as far as like a job, opening up a better job, better opportunities, coming into a better family. I know that I don't come from the best family in the world. My family is a little bit on the ghetto side.
I understand. I was that same guy too.
So, sometimes I think when I'm out here, I think I'm fine. And I have some good things.
She out here and she thinks she's fine. Another thing is driving our women crazy, overvaluing themselves. How many times have you ever heard a black woman say, I'm average, and my abilities in the bed are average or below average? I've never heard it. I've never heard that come from a woman, a black woman. I've never heard a black woman ever say that anything other than her yoni was the bomb. And they all fine. When you
going for me, but I do know.
You think you're okay? Is that what you mean? Fine? You're okay?
No, I think I'm fine.
Beautiful fine.
Yeah, I think I'm fine.
Okay, cam up.
Oh gosh.
Get your fine ass on the camera.
Oh.
You got 3,000.
Okay.
You got 3,000 people. Show what you're working with. So here's the thing, because we got to talk about this. Oh, you on? Yeah, you got me on in the background. Close the YouTube channel.
Okay.
You're watching yourself on YouTube. You can't do that. See, while you get that together, I'm gonna say this. Black people, we got to realize that, yeah, when you have generational wealth and connections, they can use those connections. The only way we actually do something about that is through coupling. All right, I'm gonna ask you to unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself now. All right, you got the YouTube closed down in the background?
Yes, is it better now?
Yep. So, how often are you working out?
How often do I work out?
Mm-hmm.
I don't work out as often as I should. Right now, getting back into the swing of things. So I'm back on a daily workout.
But how often were you working out? Are you working out once?
Currently I'm back to.
So over the last 10 years, how consistent have you worked out?
Over the last 10 years, I'll probably say
Not. Now this is the fine woman. Fine. Now see, I got crazy eyes down here. And when she talking about Disney princess white woman, she always got her up on a pedestal like this, thinking her life is like this. She got talking China and enchanted magical pets and fairy godmothers and glass slippers and everything they want, they can just snap their fingers and have. You know, they are all affluent. They come from places where their fathers can just make sure that their average boyfriends become partners in the law firm just by hooking up with his average. I mean, just listen to this crap. Enough.
Times a week.
How many?
About 3 times a week.
3 times a week.
I guess.
Okay, so here's a question. If you went to a private school or boarding school, private boarding school, right?
Yes.
And you got to see how money and affluence worked, like I did. Why have you not taken what you learned and gone to find your key?
No.
Look, I'm a haunter with the princess. Look at, she can't even look at her. Look at me. Look at me. You know you want to be me. You know you want to be me. Look at you. You trying to get my hair? Hey, you. Hey. Look at my teapot. Look at my dress. You ever have a dress like this?
I didn't realize the idea of a key.
Okay. So
until I got older.
Okay. So the question is, where'd you go to college?
I didn't graduate. I'm going back to school now. I just re-enrolled.
All right. So there's 2 things missing right here. Okay. If you didn't graduate, how many years did you get in college?
1 year.
1 year. What have you been doing since college?
Working.
Come here.
Okay. Too hard.
Working doing what?
In retail.
Working. You didn't go to college. You went to this affluent school. You saw it. You saw how Cinderella moved. You came from the crazy eye side. You saw how Cinderella and them moved. But then when it was time for you to choose to use the insight or lessons, like I said, mimic her hair, mimic her tonality, but can you mimic her character and her fitness? When it's time to do that, what do? No, we're just going to go on ahead and just go on. Yeah, here you go. Better than you can tell it.
So, okay. Management. I mean, I'm in management, but
all right.
It's not the best.
Again, I know. I mean,
I got a job.
The largest employers of black women are the federal government and retail. So, sis, if you went to private school, boarding school, you saw how money and position moved. You had a window to it. And I'm trying to figure out why this is the same thing like when black women go to college. They have a window to the world, but it doesn't seem to connect that you need a black man to make this work. What kind of witchcraft are you talking about? I saw white women living like princesses in the affluent, societies with daddies with magical golden doors opening for Brad. But I didn't. What? I need a man. I mean, now that you talk about it, she did have a man. She had lots of men around. But it never dawned on me that maybe I needed one of those things called a man to stay around for any length of time to get all those benefits. Maybe that's how she has this dress, and I'm dressed like an inmate. Roar, 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 roar. Having a toy and you don't have the batteries. I don't know if you ever did that before. Boys get toys and like, oh, I got a new remote control car. And you open it up and the batteries are not included. Where are the batteries in your life? Because let's be honest, sis, retail is not the lick.
Right.
You don't need that, and 10 years in it. So I heard the truth. You said you think you're fine. All right. I'm fine. Well, how would you say your mentality is?
Be more specific.
Well, you say you come from what kind of family? Like kind of hood, ghetto, country, ratchet, what? Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a mix of everything in between.
All right.
Oh,
and you
that
went
shit.
to that private school, right? How do you?
Right.
When was your last boyfriend?
A year ago.
How long were y'all together?
4 years.
Okay. And what did he do for a living?
He owns a few businesses. He owns a few trucks, and a barbershop. So
Okay.
some things like
And
that.
why didn't you guys get married?
We have a child. So I live in Pennsylvania and he is Muslim. I converted to Islam.
Why didn't y'all get married?
We had a Muslim marriage. We didn't have a legal marriage. He wanted a second wife. That is why.
Okay.
That was pathetic.
I know it's a mess.
Well, it's your choice.
I know.
It's your choice, though. So, and you guys are no longer together?
No.
All right. Well, is there any chance of reconciliation?
No.
Okay. You watch my show, you know I'm big on asking people questions about therapy.
Yes, I do. No, I'm not in therapy, but I did just sign up to start going.
All right. Because at this point, at 30 years old, with a high school diploma, a child, retail experience, you know, black men and white women are really kind of relevant in your situation. You saw what families can net, but you got to have the family. And here's the thing. Let me go ahead and dispel everything. Marriage ain't about love. It's about business. You don't get love. It ain't about him looking good. It ain't about the dick being good. Marry a boring guy. Marry a blue collar guy. Marry a guy who's got a little dick but a big bank account and 401k. Go get a vibrator. Do like the rest of every other woman on this planet and go with the man who has the ability to put you in a different lifestyle other than struggling like so many of our sisters do. And then when you see a black man with somebody else, you feel like he betrayed you. No, you betrayed yourself by allowing yourself to get in these positions. So I hope you go to the therapy, because if you got a son or a daughter?
I have a daughter.
All right. Well, your views on marriage, black men, are going to heavily impact her. Is her father active in her life?
Yes.
All right. Is he has a primary wife?
No.
Is he single?
Yes.
He's okay. Are you guys cordial?
Yes.
Okay. How do y'all get that stuff figured out? Your daughter's looking. Your daughter's looking, and the situation seems
Right.
kind of messy, man. To where I don't know why y'all can't resolve or whatever, but the chances of meeting a high value man in your position is slim to none. I need to say this to the room. If you have a child, you cut out high value men. If you're over,
I mean, I thought
I'm saying this to the room, not you. I'm saying this to the room. That's tomorrow night's show. We're gonna talk about the mother thing, but Now, was there a non-black woman involved in your situation?
Oh no.
So,
No, not
now, this show was about why do high value men want white women? She ain't got no. They were Muslim and all this stuff. Ain't even in her situation. You gotta hear this. Now, when I said you had a glimpse into this idyllic white America, what did you do about it? Why don't you take some of that knowledge and use it in your life? It's because far too many of our women never even look to think about needing a man. We're optional. And the thing is, let me be the first one to tell you, if no one else has told you, black men are not optional. We are required. We're required for a successful life. Not optional.
any non-black women.
So when you called into the show, what made you decide to listen to this show and offer your?
Okay, so I have a brother who is dating a white girl, and he has dated all white girls.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me
Watch the anger grow.
very uncomfortable.
Why?
I think it's an internal thing that I have to deal with, that I just don't like it. And I've listened to them, and like, I know that behind closed doors, the conversations that happen that I wouldn't be comfortable with.
Hold on. Your brother's only dated white girls his entire life?
He's dated one black girl in high school, and I think she cheated on him, and it scarred him forever, and he never dated a black girl again.
All right. And how long has he been with his girlfriend?
He's not going to leave her. They're going to stay together.
Just saying,
I know.
But the thing is he happy?
No, but it's not about happiness. They have a family, and they've built things at this point in time.
But you got a family. What? You notice how look at what somebody else has and can diagnose that, but what's in your own house? Oh, that ain't worth nothing.
I mean, I'm supportive because it's my nieces and my nephews, and I love my family.
But I don't get it. I mean, it sounds like they're not married.
No, they are not married.
All right. Yeah, y'all get down different in Pennsylvania, but okay. But he's been with her for how long?
Maybe 6 years.
And they have children, and they have built stuff together.
Yeah.
But you don't like her because she's white. No.
Oh, I know that sounds bad.
But it is bad.
Like
it is bad. That's
No,
the truth.
don't.
How does she treat your brother?
I don't like it.
How does she treat your brother? Does he complain about the treatment? That's a yes or no question.
So
does he complain about the treatment?
No.
Okay.
He's a man. He doesn't complain about that.
No. The follow-up question. Did you treat your ex better than she treats him?
Yes.
But yet you're not with him and she's still with her man.
Right.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
But he doesn't complain.
I think
but he doesn't
I tolerated things that
But ma'am, he doesn't. He doesn't. Okay, he's happy, and he doesn't complain about his situation. You're not happy.
Oh, I sound crazy.
That's why the therapy's needed, ma'am. Because you're worried about your brother. See, so many of our sisters need to get your own life. You had a whole man,
right,
and you had opportunities that a lot of other people didn't have, and you're not taking advantage of any.
Hey, big guy, sun's going down. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I need to watch what's going on in your life. Damn, what's going on in mine. I got my eyes on you. Where'd you go? You called in onto this show because this ain't even your issue. It's because of your brother with a white woman. But this is what I mean. Something about white women and black women makes y'all lose y'all's freaking mind, man. It becomes completely irrational. But this is in a lot of y'all.
Why you think? Why do you think
I don't
it's
know.
in
That's what the therapist is for. I'm not Dr. Phil. I just pointed it out. But here's the thing. Your brother is sitting next to his woman and his children today,
happy,
right?
and I'm here lonely and miserable. You're right. You got a point.
Right.
I hear you.
And if I asked your ex, why go white girl powers, boink, go back to my husband. Where'd you go? Damn it. The white woman fairy power. You can blink away and go away at any time. Where'd it go? They can always do that. They got men to go home to. Damn it. Let me get back over here. Why you left or why y'all aren't together? Who broke up your home? Did you leave?
You want that whole thing back?
Did he leave or did you leave?
I left.
Really? See, surprisingly, 80% of black women walk out of their own marriages.
I mean, my situation was a little bit different though.
It may be different, but the stats still are the same, ma'am. You had a.
You're right.
And the thing is, and this is why the media will make movies and situations to let y'all just fester in this shit. Yeah. If Tyler Perry or Oprah made a made-for-TV movie about some shit like this, y'all will file in there instead of having your own healthy, happy lives. So I thank you for calling in because you just kind of typified what's going on. You had a situation. You haven't said what's really wrong with it, but
time out. I have a question before I go.
Go ahead.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can.
Oh. So what would you rate me?
How tall are you?
5'5".
Dress size?
8.
How much did you weigh at your last weigh-in?
6.
No. You weighed 6 what? How much did you weigh?
What my weight? 140.
Okay. I would give you a 6.
Oh no, a 6.
Ma'am, I do this for a living as a professional.
Okay. All right. So that just because of like me having a kid?
Nope. The kid actually moves you down a point.
Oh, heck no. Not lower than that.
Ma'am, you're asking my opinion. That's why I took you off camera. Ma'am,
okay.
You're cute. You're cute. And cute is like normal. You ever watch Good Times? The show Good Times?
I'm like Thelma.
Thelma is a point above. She's a 7. You come in at about a 6, and that's because you have a, kind of clear skin. But when's the last time you wore your natural hair?
Well, I do normally wear my natural hair. I just here's
the thing: 6 is not is not ugly. See, here's one of the big problems. People think of 6 and they think of 60% of a grade. 6 is cute. But I don't use 7s because so many women would call themselves 7s. 8 is where Pam Grier is. Beyonce is like an 8. Beyonce is not classically beautiful. She's pretty, gorgeous, pretty, beautiful, and gorgeous. Okay? So cute is perfectly acceptable. 5 is normal. 4, 5. I don't know why so many women don't want to just be normal, average. I mean, your ex, was he
who wants to be normal?
Oh, well, let's ask. Was your ex a cardiac? Who wants to be normal? Who wants to be normal? That's what she said. And I was being nice. I was trying to be nice, trying to be cordial. I still am. because I know this stuff isn't hard. It's hard to hear when you walk around thinking you're fine. Well, but your life is telling you a different story. I'm making light with the little characters and things because this is a serious subject. And I got to put a little humor in it or else it would just be too heavy. For women like this, they think white women have it made. And we don't even want to start talking about parts of the colorism argument. They think women have it made, and they think that if I can be like like that woman, I can sit in the lap of luxury and relax like them and just take care of my kids. And I mean, are we starting to understand? It's like 72% of mothers work in this country. Why do so many sisters not want to work? Why do so many sisters have a family, have a man, and throw it away? A lot of stuff I was talking about earlier, it has gotten to the point of derangement. Well, just
No.
okay. Well, he was he owned. You said he owned some businesses, right?
Yes.
Did he go to college?
No.
Okay, but he made something of himself, and he was on several businesses. How much did he end up making annually?
I believe he was bringing in like around 120 or something.
In Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, or Pittsburgh?
Like Philadelphia area.
Okay, so 120. All right, the cost of living in Philadelphia is. Let's look at the cost of living. I don't know who wants to be average. More people should go ahead and embrace average, and they'd stop driving themselves crazy. Cost of living in Philadelphia is it's right around 100%. So 120. He's doing well. He's doing well in the top 10%.
Okay.
So you actually got a man a man whose earning outpaced your looks.
Oh no.
I'm a certified image consultant. I said you got a man whose earnings outpaced your looks, and she acted like I told the biggest lie. Oh no, ma'am. Let me be abundantly clear. You are cute at best. And I stand by what I said. I mean, I don't have to, go any harder than that. But I'm going to talk about why this is so crazy for so many of our black women to think they are something they are not. Many of you who've contacted me or called into this show or I've met in the last several months or years, far too many black women could be happy in life today, but you're living something. You're living life like you're not. Rebecca Lynn Pope said it best when she said the reason she stopped matchmaking for black women is because you are impossible to please. You have this unrealistic list of standards. You want better than you. And we got to talk about it because it's getting to the point now, this is becoming an illness, a mental illness for this program's sake. And I've been doing this for a decade. I've done this for politicians, Hollywood movie stars, athletes, entertainers, people with several zeros in their bank accounts. Ma'am, I don't know why so many of our sisters feel like they are. This is a phenomenon with black women. This is not across the board with other groups of women. I can say this is Ada's black woman thing. And you just turned on YouTube. You got to turn that off.
Who, me? I didn't turn it on.
Okay.
Did it come back on?
This is an Ada's black woman thing. So again, that's just where it is. And here's the thing. You're 30. You're 30? Okay,
Yes.
so at 30 years old, getting the feedback. Even at 30, if you were not, see what had happened, she turned back on YouTube. The entire time she was on YouTube, she was all in the comment section, looking at herself, looking at how you guys responding. The vanity was on full. That happens often. Women will come over here, get on the camera, and thinking they're just going. They expect to come to the chat room to get thirsted upon. And over here, you got a different group of men that will be honest, not insulting, and say, "Yeah, you're average." Because you can always tell they're looking down there like, "Okay, here come the compliments," and then here comes the realism. The next thing you know, they're starting to look away, look up, and this and that. And then after a while, they get back and then they come back and like, "Okay, well maybe now." Yes, you said you wore dress size 8. I didn't see a dress size 6 or 8. That's not what I saw. I saw a fair complected woman with smoker's lips. You know, smokers, when people tend to smoke cigarettes or cannabis, their lips tend to get discolored. And whether you smoke or not, that's what they're commonly called. 30 years old, post-wall child. Then when you adjust for education, income, and mentality, 5 is good. But and I said she got a man that outpaced her looks. That man was over 120,000. That puts him in the top 10% of men. She is not in the top 10% of women, but she thought she was. She really thought she was fine. So fine that where she could just waste her time getting in her brother's business while she's got none of her own. 9. Yeah, you're getting feedback. I gotta mute you. At 30, even if you were 9, the day you turn 30, you drop a point, and then you drop a point for the kid. Again, average. I don't know why that's become such a bad thing. We're getting feedback. I appreciate you calling in, sis. I gotta wrap this one up. It's after midnight. Thank you very much. See, and I used sis for that one. I appreciate. I'm glad she called in. And here's the thing: I'm glad she was honest and straightforward. I'm glad she came in and just stepped straight into it, saying, "I think I'm fine." Because there have been plenty of women who've called into this show who think they are fine. Giving yourself 8 when you're a 4. And some of the things I'm looking at, I'm like, "Are you seeing the same picture I'm seeing?" And then they're shocked when I give them and a lot of times I'm trying to be nice for the program. I tend to err on the side of giving you more points. If you want to know, I'm not conservative. I am liberal with the estimation. If you're you're a 4, I will try to find a way to give you a 5.
Sorry, I missed
Okay? Meaning.
that. Could you say it again, please?
No, thank you, sweetheart. I'll try to find a way to give you a 5. And the thing is, we got to stop it. We got to stop it. But I want to open it up because here's the thing. What's driving our women crazy? Aiming too high. You're trying to get men far outside of your looks range. That's not going to work. No other group of women does this like black women. You know, reading all these, going to all these relationship seminars where it ain't nothing but a bunch of women. If you got 4 or 5 men on the stage talking to 1,000 women, that's something wrong. You can see that in church, and you can see that at these love seminars. Social media, living for the gram, trying to make your life seem like it's better than it really is. People know you ain't got no man, no family, no nothing. And here's the thing, with coronavirus is really exposed to how empty a lot of people's lives are. You can't just keep going out to restaurants snapping a picture of some food. You got nothing. The lack of men is showing because half the women in this country are married. Half the non-black women in this country are married. You need a man to make your life go, ladies. The average woman needs a man to make her life go. Now, I know I'm going to have some PhDs call and MBAs and all this other kind of stuff. And yeah, PhDs and MBAs, masters, non-black women have men too. We got to get into it because you got to, am I alone, men? Thinking that some of these women are just kind of like, just kind of out there, just kind of, I'm just like, I mean, am I alone in this? Because when you hear women talking about keeping up with the Joneses and throwing the man, and, impossible to please, and you don't want to go golf or this or that, you rather go, what? That's insane. Non-black women do not do that. There's a video on YouTube right now with a unattractive black man, an overweight black man trying to holler at black women. No shot. They're insulting. Overweight white man actually using negative game on white women. And you had him approach a white woman, and she went on an impromptu date with him right then, hiking. You cannot afford this, sisters. Women, you cannot afford to be trying to play like you're all that. You're going to lose and lose big. Trying to fulfill your outsized ego that does not match up. Because I have yet to see a woman that's, some of the things I've seen, commented, said, I'm looking at women, I'm like, you're not fine enough to say that. You may be better than better than what's around, but you ain't fine enough to say that. Impossible to please, living above their means. You would rather work your butt off, but be alone, than to have a man who can't pay all the bills. Now, that's not my client. But I'm sorry, the majority of this country, men and women work. You need two incomes in the majority of this country. And the majority of you are average. But yet you want lives like you got a top 10% man. And you are a 70% or 60% woman. When I heard that woman say that, it makes sense to some women to be like, I can do bad all by myself. I'd rather be by myself than pay money to. That is crazy. Because when men are unemployed, it is usually for short term. But see, there can be no short-term discomfort for pampered princesses. You're far too picky, far too pampered, much too much of a snowflake, immature, childish, selfish, and you think you're the shit. So soon as the boyfriend, your husband, as soon as he falls on hard times, he can't get it done. Most of you give guys less than 90 days before you mentally check out. Notice what I said. Mentally check out. Cable bills due once. It's late one time. It got cut off one time. Struggling with a man? Oh no. Building with a man? Oh no.
He needs to have it already built and your room needs to be covered out. No, you're not that fine. You're not that hot. You're not a top 20% woman, a top 10% woman. So stop it, because it's crazy to hear some women talk. And then when you start talking about, white women, that's the justification. Well, white women get to do it. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. But anyway, we're going to get into it. We're going to get the call line open because I want to hear what y'all got to say. Ladies, I want to know what is driving black women crazy these days? Because it can't be the men, because y'all ain't got one. You're not your grandma, you're not your auntie and your mom and them. You don't have a man, so you can't say men are driving you crazy. You can't say men are driving you crazy, you don't have one.
Lunes. Money work.
You can't say men are driving you crazy because you don't have one.
El mundo quiere dinero.
If you type in capsule, you'll get timed out.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
Get the donations up, get the likes up, make it rain up in this mug. Make it rain on crazy eyes. Make it rain, crazy eyes.
Money, todo el dinero. Solo un par de gente se lleva el botín entero. Funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienes lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero llegaremos antes o después. Solo a lo suyo, que Dios te la ve. Que por más que tarde lo veré caer. Somos malos buenos y tenemos fe. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo fue. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Yo digo las cosas como son. No quiero ninguna aceptación. Tampoco vengo a pedir perdón porque mis sentimientos se volvieron la canción. Yeah. No me vale mucho como tú me ves. Sabes, tú me llegas solo a los pies. Para mí ser grande es un interés. Ser un buen humano para mí es un deber. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo fue. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. De corazón. La plata no te hace ser feliz. De corazón. La plata no te hace ser feliz. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Lunes. Lunático.
All right, ladies, join the show. We're going to drop the link. We're going to drop the link for you, ladies, because I do really, truly want to hear what's going on with y'all. Why do you think, seriously, unless you have independent outside proof that you are a certified, bona fide 8, 9, or 10 in the face, 8, 9, or 10 in the body, why are you walking around acting, talking, speaking like you got all these options? Why are you putting men out of the house? Because you got to work. And you're going to have to work whether you're there or not.
Why are you divorcing? Did you heard some of these women talk about some of the petty reasons they left? I left my husband who was paying all the bills to go get on welfare in Section 8. What? I left my cancer-ridden husband and I'm 5'4", 200 pounds. What? I left my husband that made a mistake, and instead of fighting for it, I just sat here for the last 20 years and had sex with him 4 or 5 times a year and shared it with another woman instead of just apologizing and going back. What? I mean, over and over and over. The insanity. You need to connect your mic. Rebecca Lynn Pope said it herself. I know, man. I mean, at what point do you stop trying to make this the men's fault? At what point do we start saying, hey, ladies, y'all on some craziness? You know, I will say this while we're letting people join in. It is my position that many more women would be happy if you would get rid of these ridiculous standards, this ridiculous list you have. Lower your standards to meet your looks. Yeah, that's right, I said it. Lower your standards in line with your looks. Lower your standards in line with your looks, and then act like a nice person. Lower your standards in line with your looks. Hello?
Hello?
How do you pronounce your name? Shanita.
Yes.
Shantia.
Yes.
How do you pronounce your name, ma'am?
Oh, Shanita.
Okay. Let me make sure I have this on. So what did I have? What did I get wrong here?
Well, no, I think you have it perfectly right. And I feel that more women should listen to you.
Well, I mean, you about to cause a riot up in here. They're going to think I paid you for that. How old are you?
43.
Have you ever been married?
No.
Why?
Just poor choices and a lot of childhood trauma.
Okay.
Never dealt with it probably too late.
What do you mean childhood trauma? You don't have to go into it, but have you gone to get therapy or counseling?
Yeah, I did, but I just feel that I got it like too late.
What do you mean? When did you go get it?
In my 30s.
Okay. Are you actively dating?
No.
Okay. Why?
Well, I'm a mother of 2.
Okay.
And I just, when I had children, I just decided that I would just devote my life to them because I just felt like they were first.
Let's talk about that. That makes children miserable because mothers rest all their hopes and dreams and everything else on their kids because mama got no life. And then kids feel guilty about leaving mama because mama got no life. How old is your oldest?
So my oldest is 12 and my youngest is 11.
Are they boys or girls?
Both.
Which is the oldest?
The boy.
Where's his dad?
He's active. You know, he gives money. He sees them.
But you know, as the boy, and he has a younger daughter, right? An younger sister.
Yes.
He is going to step into, he is going to, it is in his genetic makeup to try to step up to do things he shouldn't be doing. He's going to try to work before he should be. He's going to likely grow up too soon, try to take on responsibilities he shouldn't, try to be a husband to you, a father to his sister, and robbing him of his childhood. That may not be your intention, but that's how this plays out. Boys tend to not want to leave their mother. When's the last time you had a man?
I haven't dated.
Okay. You had some babies, so you had to have had a man sometime.
Oh, right. Yeah. So me and their father, we lived together for several years.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going to get married, but he was playing around and just
What do you mean he's playing
disrespectful,
around?
cheating.
Okay.
You know, and it just kept happening. Like I,
All right.
kept forgiving, and it just kept happening, and
Okay.
I just was ready just to let it go. So I got out of the situation.
Okay. Well, I don't want to go in all into that, but see, when I hear that, there's always three sides to the story: your side, his side, and the truth. And but what I'm still hearing is you've got the therapy, but there's no progress. Therapy is supposed to have progress, meaning there should be a man in your life. You shouldn't just quit and say, well, I'm going to just raise my kids. Because if the father's involved in the kid's life, is he married?
No.
What's he
I mean,
doing?
he has girlfriends at times, but no, he's not married.
All right. See,
and he's even expressed like he wanted to be back with me, but
then you better go. I'm gonna be honest. Who's the mother? Who's the father of your daughter?
Oh, they have the same father.
Then you better go. See, okay. Let me not talk to you directly because this is too much. See, women like you, who had a man who cheated on him, he made a lot of mistakes. Okay, but if you express wanting to get back, you're not doing anything anyway, and you have no plans of doing anything. And if you've gotten the therapy, it's like black women would rather just struggle. It's easier to have a man in the house. It's easier to pay bills with a man in the house. It's easier to live with a man in the house. But so many of our sisters have become so accustomed to living dysfunctional, unattached, and you see it everywhere you look. Because all black, 80%, 3 out of 4 black women are unmarried. But I'm talking about your son and how he's going to grow up trying to take on roles. And yeah, man, at 43 years old, you've completely cut off romance and relationship. And how long has that been there?
At least like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Okay. That's not healthy, man. It's not healthy. I mean,
it's really interesting. Like I remember when I was becoming a mother, my grandmother, she sat me down and she, being a Great Depression baby herself, she just was like, "Oh, like your life is over. So you just need to make it about your kids." And then I just would think back like when I was a kid and, like watching my mom date different people, it made me feel bad. And I just was like,
I
I never
mean,
want
you watch your mom date. So your grandmother had no man and your mama had no man.
Exactly. So it's a
Then you
lot
need
of
to break the cycle.
right. Yeah. That's interesting. But I just don't want my kids feeling funny, you know,
What do you mean?
with
Okay,
another guy.
okay. I see you, Gabrielle. I want to talk. What do you mean feeling funny?
Mm, just the things that, you
Kids
know,
want
common
their
relationship.
mama. Okay, kids want their mother happy. You're not happy. How tall are you?
5'1".
Dress size.
I'm overweight.
Exactly,
It's
man. Prototypical. Overweight or obese?
overweight.
How much do you weigh?
150.
That's obese. That's obese for 5'1". Over 30% BMI is obese. 5'1", no man, obese. I don't hear any happy, any joy in your life. I probably the last time you probably had a real good cleansing laugh. See, and kids look at your mama, they look at mama, and every day they see mama just there. Yes, kids would rather mama be with daddy. That's what every kid wants. But kids are much rather to see their mother happy. You've got some bad information from some women who didn't know what the hell they were talking about.
And that's why I called in, because you know, when you're saying like, why are Black women miserable? I think it's because we make each other miserable, and particularly the elderly Black women.
Right? But here's the thing. You're an elder Black woman.
Hmm.
You're 43, right?
Right.
Okay, you're an elder Black woman. You're an elder Black woman. You should be giving the Black women 16 and 17 advice, not still looking for it. So you've already identified the issues, the childhood traumas, but but what I'm not hearing is you've done something actively, you've resolved them, and you've moved forward.
Right. Well, my thing is, you know, because it's like I get into it turns into arguments. Like when I
Well,
consider myself more of a progressive thinker.
arguments with whom?
The women in my
Fuck
family,
them.
like my mother,
Fuck
you
them.
know.
I mean, seriously,
Uh-huh.
man, no offense, man, but screw them. I'm not trying to be rude,
Right.
but you have to learn. Look, the women in your family seem to be dysfunctional and are toxic.
Very, very.
All right,
Yeah.
but I blame you. It's your responsibility. You have a greater responsibility to your life and your children than those grown women. It is your excuse. You've diagnosed the issue. You've done something about it. You just have not done what it takes to live a successful or uh, fulfilling life, and that's a shame. Gabriella and Lulu, you're next.
Hi, good evening.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing very well in yourself.
I'm good. What's driving Black women crazy these days?
I think what's driving Black women crazy is just our lack of community and our toxic view on men. And I was talking to my sister earlier today. I really appreciate your channel because it's giving me a different perspective, and it's given me as a Black woman, I consider myself a Black woman, some very hard and difficult truths. But just I feel that the bashing of men that is a constant
Mm-hmm.
occurrence in our community is an issue. Even in my family, which is it's my family dynamic is very interesting. My mother's side is Afro Latina, and Latina, and even their community, they consider themselves Black. They don't always
Mm-hmm.
look it. Even in that community, we are taught to serve our men, but at the same time, we bash our men. So, for example, like I would see my mom cook, clean, put my dad's, food on the table first and everything, and take care of us, and at the same time she would demasculate him, and she would put him second to us. And me now being married, although I don't have children yet, I realize that my husband is first and he needs to remain first
How
at
old
all
are you?
times.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
22. Do you have any sisters?
Yes, I do. All my parents' children are girls. I have
Okay,
three
where do
other
you fall in the
sisters.
birth order?
I am third.
Okay, and how many?
There's four girls.
Oh, are you the two younger than you?
No, I am the second youngest. I have two older sisters.
Okay,
28 and
and you're
27.
22.
Yes.
The things you're talking about are far too heavy for a 22-year-old to be even discussing.
Do you believe so? Why though? If you don't mind me asking, I feel like as a
Okay,
human being,
all
we're
right, all
supposed
right,
to
all right.
constantly
Let
be
me give you
learning.
this example. Did you go to college?
Yeah, I just graduated.
Where'd
Yes.
you graduate from?
Florida Atlantic University.
Florida
It's a
Atlantic. Was that a
Mhm.
commuter college?
um, mm, not really. I mean, a
Did,
lot of people
could
lived
you
on
live
campus.
on
I lived on
campus?
campus. Yeah, I lived on campus for a
I
while.
mean,
Yeah.
how many? What was the total enrollment?
I actually don't know. I think more than 60,000, if I'm
Okay,
correct. I
sixty
believe
thousand.
more
I
than
don't know,
60.
60,000. That's the size of University of Texas at Austin. 60,000.
I believe so. I haven't really looked at the
Okay,
demographics, but it was very large. There's a
okay,
lot of people there.
okay. So my point is, so what'd you go to school for?
I went to school for social work to do mental with
Okay, so
therapy.
were you there?
Yeah,
Did you live there on your freshman year?
yeah, I did. It was great.
All right. So when you actually start interacting with non-black students, enrollment, non-black students, white women, Asian women, what did you notice differently about them socially?
About
It's
them
okay. First off,
socially.
that school is 31,000, 30,000. See, one of the
Okay.
differences is if I asked the average 22-year-old white woman, they're not talking about this heavier stuff. They're talking about spring break, Cabo, graduation. They got weddings to go to. They're talking about bake sales, sorority parties, lock-ins. At 22, I thought you were going to tell me like 38 or something. You're talking about shit that you should not be, excuse me, things that are far too heavy for a 22-year-old. You should not have enough negative experiences with men to have any real problems. You should have just got out of puppy love.
Well, I don't have a lot of personal negative experiences with men, but I dated a bit younger than most, so I do have some
What do you mean a bit younger?
experiences. I started dating at about 14.
Okay, so what? But still, that's puppy love.
Yeah, that
That's
is
puppy
true.
love. But anything in high school is puppy love. College is the first time you can have something that kind of resembles a grown relationship because you have your dorm and he has his room and you can kind of approximate that.
Mhm.
But it's still a controlled environment. It's all
I
upside.
mean, I only lived there for the first year. After
So
that, I moved out.
22, you sound like a woman in her 30s. And I believe you when I hear the kind of women you're talking about and they're around. Get away from those people. Because if I ask you the other questions, how tall are you?
I, I'm overweight. I would say I'm probably a 3. So
Okay,
if
but
you're
how
thinking
tall are
about
you?
that,
But
yeah.
how tall are you?
We talked yesterday. I'm about 4'10".
Okay. Are you the
I
one that's
took
160 some odd pounds?
Yeah, I
See,
took your advice. I've been working out.
see, but my thing is, when I ask you, if you look at white dance troops, they look like lots of little sprites. How often do you see black women your age smiling?
My friend group smiles a lot. We smile
I
and
said
laugh a
your
lot.
age.
My age, I see them from where I go to school.
Okay,
It's
ma'am.
not
I live
really.
right here in Atlanta. I'm not
Mhm.
saying I don't ask questions that I don't know answers to. The smiling versus smirking.
Okay.
Do you see? Uh,
Teeth? No,
yes,
I don't see teeth.
lightness. Do you see lightness?
No.
Exactly. you're and that's far, and it's
I do
sad.
have. I.
Hold on, let me finish.
Mm-hmm.
And that is sad because a lot of older women tend to weather and wither younger women. And you know why they tend to do that? So older men will not really want to talk to you. So you can stay over there with them. Because they're really, you are their competition. Go ahead.
No, my question is because you're saying I am quite young to be speaking about things like that, and although I don't fully agree with that, I understand your perspective.
Well, you don't have
But
to, but here's the
Younger
difference.
women.
Here's the difference.
You know why they
You're
tend to do that?
22. I could be your father.
So older men
Yes.
will
So
not really want to talk to you.
understand, your 22-year-old opinion is just that. It's untested. You have no wisdom.
But to
No,
add to
ma'am.
that,
Don't.
yeah, no,
Hold on. Stop. See, first of all,
Mhm.
this is not a contest. A 22-year-old, you can see. This is our culture.
I was gonna ask a question
But
actually.
it's still our culture. Our culture is that a 22-year-olds, how you engage with a man my age is indicative of our culture. You're engaging with me almost as an equal. Just by the way you're talking to me. You haven't said yes sir, no sir. When I start talking, it's our culture.
Mhm.
So go ahead.
So what I was gonna ask based off of that is from what I've heard from some of your other videos, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that, you say that most women should be married around like 23, 24, 25. So isn't that kind of like my age bracket? Wouldn't that kind of qualify me to talk at least in some way about my experiences
No,
and the
I said no, no,
perspectives that
no,
I've drawn from?
no. You have no. You should have nothing negative to talk about. You should have a high school sweetheart, 16. You have a boyfriend in high school, a guy
I
you went to
did.
the prom with. Then, if you guys decide to go to the same college, if not, you split up. You went to state school, he went to another school. You found another, you dated a little bit, gained freshman 15, whatever, found another boyfriend around your sophomore year, second semester. You guys were together and then messed around and got married right after graduation. Where's the
Yeah,
negative
that's
in
not
that?
my story.
Huh?
That's far from my story.
Exactly. That's far from a lot of young black women's story. A lot of young black women's story is rode hard, put to bed wet. A bunch of negative, a bunch of just toxic. And you should, I mean, why do you think young people get married? Because they're optimistic. They're ready to get life started together. They can't wait to get their own little apartment together and go shopping at IKEA and get up on Saturday morning and go to Starbucks and get pumpkin bread because they're happy. You look at your dudes your age and
That's more reflective of my life.
Lulu, unmute yourself. See, you can have an.
Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
let me say this to you, Gabriella. There's a difference between having an opinion and then actually having lived knowledge. You're too. There's no. Just like if you're a younger man, you haven't lived enough. Ladies your age really should be learning from women my age teaching, but sadly, far too many women my age have nothing really to teach you, or what they're teaching you is incorrect. What's going on, Lulu?
Thank you, Mr. Samuels. Have a good night.
Thank you. So, what's going on with the what's driving black women crazy these days?
Not having a black father in the household.
Okay. Why do you think that is?
I grew up with my mother's single parent home, 4 children.
Mm-hmm.
She instilled in her daughters,
How many
you don't need a man.
how many fathers?
3.
Okay. So she instilled in how many children, how many daughters does she have?
2.
So she instilled in her daughters, you don't need a man. What is she instilling in her boys?
My brother still to this day, he's 37, feels like he should take care of the family.
Right. So why are there no black father? Why was there no black father in your household?
My father was murdered
Okay.
My brother, who's older than my sister and I, his father was in jail. And the same thing for my younger brother. His father went to jail as well.
Okay. 3 out of the 4 men that your mother had children with went to jail.
2 out of
2
the
out of
3.
3, and 1 was murdered.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So in general, why are black fathers not in the household?
I would have to say that Black women don't give them the chance. If you don't do what they say or you don't agree with them, they pretty much cut you out. That's what I take from it.
Who are you
I'm
referring to? Black men or black women?
Black women.
Okay.
Black women.
Okay.
I've seen it time and time and time again with my family members.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you hear it on this channel. You hear it on this channel. 26% of black women married file 80% of the divorces in black community, and every black woman I've asked, that you get one of 3 excuses, one of 3 reasons: abuse, infidelity, or income.
Mm-hmm.
But you never hear of them saying I was a horrible wife. And then inevitably, when I started speaking to the women, it turns out that the husbands that they walked away from seemed just like any other guy. But yet,
Mm-hmm.
I think you have onto something. Black women don't give black men any chance. It's one
Not
or
at all.
done. So, and you're old. And you how old?
I'm 35.
How's that affected your love life?
I'm single, no children, never been married. My longest relationship was a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like a year ago. I date guys that's older than myself, in between 45 to 55. That's my sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people may not agree, but that's what I like.
No, you should date older men. But with your family history, have you had therapy or counseling?
I have had some.
Okay. I mean, that's a traumatic. I mean, 2 fathers murdered. I mean, you're murdered and 2 in jail. I mean, that I would say you need to know why your family life was that chaotic.
What was my mother's choices? I mean, that's
Right.
why.
But what I'm saying is to know the impact it had on you. Case in point, have you sat down with a counselor for any real length of time?
I have. Mm-hmm.
How long?
I was seeing her maybe about 6 months, every 2 weeks.
Okay, 6 months. And how long ago was that?
That was probably about right before COVID.
And you saw a counselor in your 30s.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So any acceptance, abandonment, approval issues?
Yes, all of that. The first question she asked me was, what do I like to do for fun?
Mm-hmm.
And I told her eating, reading, and she was like, I can already tell you right there, you're an emotional eater.
Mm-hmm.
And you like to spend time alone.
Yeah.
You like to isolate. Just based off of those 2 questions.
So how tall are you?
I'm 5'7".
You know what's coming next.
I'm 157. I recently lost, a lot of weight since being in counseling. Around 30 pounds. Yeah, I was overweight at first.
So you're still close to 190. So
no, I'm 157.
Yeah, but you were close to 190 before the
weight. Yeah. I was really close to it, pushing it.
Close to 200 pounds. So my thing is, okay, if mom had a chaotic, dysfunctional way of picking men, you're 35. I mean, you're outside of the danger zone. You're on the other side. No man's land.
I smashed the wall.
No, you smashed the wall 5 years ago. You're in no man's land right now. It's to the point to where, do you have the skills, the relationship skills, to have a long-term relationship with any man?
I think so. I won't say that I know everything, but I'm learning
But see, the thing is, you don't do. Okay, I gotta challenge you a little bit on that because you said your longest relationship was a year and a half,
Mm-hmm.
and that was recently.
Mm-hmm.
That means your entire life you've had short-term relationships, if any.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have this, then you can't say with confidence you have long-term skills. The only way to say that with confidence is to have done it.
True.
What you're trying to speak is you're trying to speak optimistically, and that means this is what basically you're saying. All right, Kevin, I did 6 months counseling, and I know I came from a chaotic upbringing, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to find Roger, date Roger, and then practice on him. Rather than do the work up front to make sure that Roger and I can have a longer interaction or determining whether or not I should even deal with Roger. This is why therapy and counseling is so good. It's not just short term. It should continue to go on because when you have most of your life you have lived a life of no relationships with men. So the likelihood of having a man in your life is really slim. Has anyone ever kind of framed it that way?
Yes,
All right. Who did? Who framed it that way?
my brother.
And does he have a? And what is he doing?
He's not married. He's 37, no kids. We pretty much have the same life as far as like dating. He dates more than I do though.
But why isn't he? What's he doing with his career and his work history?
Oh, he has a great career. He's
Okay.
a senior project manager.
Cool. So what does he wanna? Does he want anything serious? Does he want his own family?
He does, but again, like our upbringing, he needs to go to therapy.
See, when you have a chaotic upbringing like you and your brothers, fear and scarcity tend to be your motivating factors.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing positive comes from fear and scarcity as a motivation. I.e., your brother, he can have a great job as a project manager, which means he can have the financial resources to maintain a family, but he probably fears going to get a woman and trying to make it work because he fears that he doesn't have the skills to make it work. And then he'll invest that time, energy, and then if it breaks apart, he'll have to deal with the heartbreak. Jesus forbid if there's a marriage and kids, then there has to be a weekend that see the fear. And this is what we do. The longer we stay away from people and having a real relationship with folks, the more it becomes this. That's why I'm saying, if that's what you want, therapy and developing those relationship skills. Because it's not see, another thing, sadly, too many of black women just think you can just decide you can be in a relationship just because you want to. That's not true.
Oh no, I don't think that at all. I don't think that at all.
I'm just saying, if you listen to my channel, you've heard women talk about they've been away for 20 years.
Yeah.
And they're like,
yeah.
now I'm ready. I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah. I don't feel like right now that I'm ready to date. I still want to, continue my therapy once, my physician's books open back up, but my therapist's books open back up, but
She's not doing
I'm not ready
virtual
to date at
sessions?
this. She is, but she's overbooked.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
would say virtual sessions, group sessions, and don't stop dating. You need to practice. You need to practice.
Okay.
I mean, you need to practice.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have time. I mean, 35, you don't have time to waste. You need to practice. It was like just like I was talking to that woman the other day, was 43 years old, and she ain't had a date since her 20s. You need to practice. This is like being on a bike. Tia, unmute yourself. Thanks for calling in, Lulu. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Tia, unmute yourself. Yeah, relationships require practice. Require work. Tia.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, yes. How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm good. What is driving black women crazy these days?
Well, I'm going to say a couple of things. I will say not having a father in the home. I will also say characteristics of the women of the baby boomer generation and the feminist movement and how that influenced their lives. And also, a lot of women, young girls, young women have not been taught how to date, have not been taught how to choose a good partner when, while they're in college. That age of what did you say, like
You should be married by
20?
23.
Right, right. Yeah, I will admit myself. Okay, so I'm 46,
Mm-hmm.
and when I was 23, I was not thinking about a husband
You're
at
how old?
all.
46?
I'm 46 right now.
Okay, you say you weren't thinking about a husband? Of
At 23,
course not. You were taught not to.
right. I was taught. I had, yes. I think I was a year out of college. Um, I started working in my field, and I was traveling. I was, living my best life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I felt the wall hitting me very early, like around 27. I don't. I just looked up one day and I realized most of my friends are married, and most of my friends had children or are expecting children.
Mm-hmm. So what? So
So
did you ever get married?
yes, I did get married,
Okay.
but I'm not getting. I'm in the process of a divorce,
Okay.
and that was well, it's been 17 years.
Okay. Why are you guys splitting? After all this time?
Well, I'm not going to lie. I will hold them to accountability. I didn't choose the right person,
Okay.
and it eventually became abusive.
Physically abusive or verbally abusive?
Physical, verbal,
To the
yes.
point to where cops are called and somebody's going to jail?
No, not jail, but there was a lot of, it was too much arguing, too much stress, a
Any
lot of,
children?
no children. I had some medical issues.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Well, you know, the chances of I would say counseling does wonders.
I have
I
been to
mean couples
counseling.
counseling because
We would,
hold on,
we did that
hold
twice.
on. Well, and I'm gonna tell you, you might want to think about a third time because let me
Okay.
tell you out here, I'm gonna just be honest. You're 5 years younger than me. How tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
Dress size?
I'm going to tell you and be honest, I am severely obese, and I'm working on that, and I've
Then you
lost
got
21.
nothing coming out here except death by
I
yourself.
know. Yes, I know.
So I mean, I got to tell you, if you got a husband, you better try to figure out how to live with that man. You better get y'all need to figure out how y'all don't need to kill each other. I'm serious. I'm gonna be dead.
I know you
Listen, I'm gonna
are.
be
I
dead.
know you. I
I'm not gonna
know.
look at the chat. Listen to what I'm saying. Look, women in previous generations could not just divorce this casually. And then who if you're really obese, okay, how much do you weigh?
Right now, I am over 300
All right.
pounds,
And how tall?
5'8".
All right. Anything. A fall you could be incapacitated. Do you make the kind of money to have a home health care nurse?
No, I don't.
24/7? No. The medical issues that come along with being morbidly obese,
I
diabetes.
already have them.
Okay, then ma'am, you cannot afford.
You,
Listen, one thing that tends to happen on this channel, guys, a lot is when I talk to older women, they tend to laugh at inappropriate times. That's a tell. I'm talking to the channel, ma'am. You can't afford to live by yourself. That's just the
you are,
that's the bottom line truth.
you,
You have no children. You cannot afford to live by yourself at that weight with your issues. Move into separate rooms, become roommates, do the Will and Jada. But if you think divorce is going to do what? You're going to just have to pay all the bills in that space by yourself.
So Kevin, may I say something real
Go
quick?
ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Nicole B, you need to
Um,
connect your microphone. Go ahead.
okay, so let me explain what's going on right now. I was the one that left,
Mm-hmm.
and when I left, it was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I left because it was a huge blow up, which if I did not leave, I felt that it could have been a serious physical altercation. And before I left, I was not in the 300 range. I was a vegan. I was working out. I was in counseling. I was doing a lot of things. And when I moved back down south, um, years ago, my I began living with my mother and grandmother because my grandmother recently died in November,
Okay. Sorry to
and
hear
she
that,
was
but I
99.
got 3 more
And
people.
she was
I need you to get to the
okay.
point.
She was 99. But anyway, getting to my point, I've recently gained 40 pounds in the past 2 years. That's what's
They're
going on.
40?
I've gained 40 pounds within the past 2 years.
Okay, man, but you were still, that means you were
So
260 before you left.
right,
Okay,
you
that's,
are exactly right.
ma'am, that's not a small
So
woman. So I don't understand
no, it's not. It's not
so what's
small. I know
so the point of telling me that story was what? You gained more weight?
I've gained more weight since moving back because I became an emotional eater.
All right, but the point of telling me that was, what impact would that have on you living like roommates with your husband?
Oh, right. Honestly, if I went back to my husband, I know I would lose weight because we worked out together.
I'm you sound crazy.
I don't want to sound.
You
I
sound
know I
crazy because
sound.
you just said if I went back to my husband, you would lose weight, which is a healthy
I
thing.
would.
Well, then,
It is a
but you
healthy
talk. But
thing.
listen, that's crazy. Then divorcing him is crazy because there's benefit to
Okay.
it. There's okay. You have benefit of having a man there who's already dealt with you for going on 20 years. You're not gonna find another one at 300 pounds. That's it. I
So
need to
Kevin,
stress that. And you're at the age to where you could die from heart attack, stroke, all these things. You need somebody around you. And you're saying if I went back to my husband, I will lose weight because we worked out together. Sounds like upside. See, check the ego,
mm-hmm.
make a practical decision. I don't want to hear about romance. I don't want to hear about any of that. I need to hear about your hospice care plan. I need to hear about your in case of emergency. I need to hear about your medical coverage. I need to hear about your deductible. I need to hear about your job. I need to hear about your benefits. For a morbidly obese, nearly 50-year-old woman, you have serious health issues on the horizon. I need to know how you're going to take care of those and pay for those with no children and no family. Before you talk about divorcing somebody. That's what I need. That's what I need grown women like yourself to be talking about.
Okay.
That's what you need to be talking about before you talk about divorce.
So I understand that, and right now the only plan I don't have is the hospice plan. I do have the in case of emergency.
Right. Okay. And how much? Are you rich?
I'm not rich.
Are you making over 6 figures a year?
No, I'm not making over 6 figures a year.
Do you have your retirement for 30? Do you have retirement, or are you just working paycheck to paycheck like most Americans?
I do have retirement.
Okay. How much would you make in a retirement?
I'm currently working right now, and
Would you be making? Are you going to be living on pauper's wages, or can you really afford to live?
I could afford to live.
Okay, let's talk.
Okay.
How much would you be making on retirement on a monthly basis?
$3,700 a month.
That's broke.
Okay.
That's broke, ma'am.
Okay.
That's not even $50,000 a year at a morbidly obese. That's broke.
Okay.
Okay, okay. There's no need to get defensive. What I need
No, I'm not.
you to understand is you're in no financial position to be by yourself. You would do better staying with your husband and living as a roommate. But you know
So
what? But you know
may I
what?
add?
I'm just
Okay,
saying, ma'am, you're 300 pounds, ma'am, and you already got health complications. This is a practical decision. I'm not asking you to go back and be in love with this man. I'm saying you fall down and can't get to something. Something happens. Have you ever sustained an injury, a broken bone, anything?
I have sustained an injury back in 2016.
What kind of injury? Nicole, you're next.
I slipped on black ice and tore my meniscus and ACL.
All right then. Well, a divorce sounds like
I don't.
a very
So may I?
a very irresponsible thing. Unless he just doesn't want you back and doesn't want to talk to you, doesn't want to deal with you, and just hates your guts. Uh,
It's
Y'all need to have a conversation.
okay. May I also add something to that?
Go ahead. And I need to get to
Okay,
Nicole.
so this is another reason why I left. He was not working. He has not worked in 9
Hold
years,
on,
and he
Nicole.
has
Let me
three.
mute you. Nicole. Give me 3 minutes. I don't care if he ain't working. I don't care. I don't
Okay,
care if he's not working. I mean, I'm
all
I'm
right.
gonna be honest. I don't care if he's not working. Let
Okay,
me tell you why I don't care if he's not working.
okay.
Are you gonna live in a one bed? What do you live in right now?
Right now, 3-bedroom home.
So can you occupy? I know you're a big girl, but you can't occupy all 3 of them rooms.
I sure can.
Then what the French toast is the difference?
The
Practically,
difference?
yeah. What's the difference? He's not working. He's in one of those rooms, and you got your husband in your house, and y'all have an arrangement.
Okay.
You're paying the same bills, same mortgage, same utilities. See, this is what marriage really comes down to. What Will and Jada really did for the black community was great because they showed what it takes to really forget the fairy tale love and emotions. This shit is
Mm-hmm.
ugly and we ain't separating. Bad marriage for life. Well, guess what? You got a bad marriage for life. If he ain't working,
Okay.
that's what you married, man. Stop making excuses as to why you want to divorce him and go die by yourself. Because, ma'am, you are 300 pounds. You had talking like you just like with a I don't do you realize that people are dying in their places by themselves and being discovered weeks later by the coroner in around this world? In Japan, it's rampant because people our age are not supposed to be uncoupled. We're supposed to be coupled so our kids can come check on us, our extended family. You're in your
I,
apartment. You have a heart attack in your apartment. You can't get to your phone. What happens? You die. How long you gonna be dead before somebody checks on you?
honestly, a day.
Huh?
The plan that I have in place and the family and friends that I communicate with, it would be a day.
A day. A
Honestly,
day. A day. So you mean to tell me
okay.
right now that in a corona situation, if you don't talk to somebody in 24 hours, what do they do?
They call and check on me,
Okay,
and I
they
have
call and
my
check on
vet.
you, and then you
Oh,
call and check on you, and they call or do they text?
they're calling,
Okay,
texting,
what do they do
and
first, man?
they are
Okay,
calling.
they call and you
However,
don't
I
answer.
do.
They call and they don't answer. How long before they go to step 2? How long? When what I'm
Probably
asking you is how long before they really know that there's an emergency? Because most people call and give you a few hours to call back, or text and a few hours to text back. See, it's rarely somebody call at noon and they're sending the police by to do a wellness check at 3. Usually, it's going to take a while. And ma'am, you know how long it takes before the smells? Do you live in a house? You live in a
I
house?
live in a
Okay.
house.
And you have neighbors on both
Yes.
sides?
I have, yes, I
Okay,
do.
3 days. 3 days is what it typically takes before a rotting body to start smelling to where neighbors on either side will be alerted by the smell. You know what that looks like when you go into that scene? And I'm saying this not to gross people out because This is what's happening to our generation because we were not coupled. In Japan, you're having, there's actually a term for this, where the coroners are going to find people laying on their futons who have passed, who have expired. And the net of it, ma'am, is no one is checking on you that regularly to make sure you don't die. It'll be just to collect you. What's left of you. That's no way to live. And you can do something about it. So whatever is motivating you to sit back and say, well, I'd be better off doing this at 300 pounds divorced versus 300 pounds with a roommate of a husband and a loveless marriage, but at least he'd be there. That was part of the vows. And see, let me talk to the artist. If we can't get to that level in Black America, we can't have shit. Thank you, Will and Jada, for showing what it really takes. You got to be able to forgive and keep forgiving and give over. That's what it takes to be with somebody over a long period of time. We can do it over a short period of time because we just cycle them in and out. And divorcing in your 40s and 50s is foolish. There is nothing waiting for you out here except death by yourself as a woman, especially if you have some issues. So, ma'am, I hope you think about it long and hard.
I will.
I certainly hope you do. Thank you for calling in, though. Nicole, go ahead and
thank
unmute
you.
yourself. Thanks to you. I know it's hard to hear, but
Welcome.
that's the truth. It's the way I see it.
I understand.
All right. Nicole. Hello? See, I don't know if you guys saw Papa and Granny or Big Mom. Them people did not love each other. They wasn't all up on each other rubbing noses. When you 40 years in, when you 30 years into it, y'all know there comes a point in time when you've been with somebody, you know every story they got. You know every story they got. They've told it every kind of way. You know what they're going to do. And it becomes more like friends. Sometimes even like brother and sister because you grew up together. The kids is out of the house. Erectile dysfunction sets in. She's got to use Replens if anything was to ever happen. Y'all are just sitting there. You get up and maybe you get up at the same time. Maybe you don't. You share a dinner together, a meal, but you're really just sharing space. But that's important. One keeps the other alive. One person in the house is wasting away. And y'all know what I'm saying is true. At that weight, she didn't want to hear it because she's got her mind made up. And I'm like, you don't have these options to be making. You're $3,700, guys. That's $3,700. Do the math. $3,700. Nicole, you need to unmute yourself, or I'm going to the next person.
Hello.
$3,700. That's $44,000 a year. I don't care where you at. That's not a lot. Go ahead, Nicole.
Hi.
What's driving Black women
agree
crazy
with
these
you.
days?
I would say I think it has to do with like wanting, like if it doesn't fit like the dream, then you're unhappy.
What do you mean?
Like if he's not making X amount of dollars, if you don't have this kind of lifestyle, if you can't afford these things, then you know you're unhappy and you feel like you need to leave or you can do better.
Well, you just heard a woman that's 300 pounds talking about her husband won't work. You got a 3-bedroom house. I mean, I don't understand. people are going to start losing their jobs very, very shortly. Y'all do not realize what's happened to this economy. But you're right, Nicole. Black women's tolerance for not having the fantasy is extremely low.
Yeah.
How'd it get to be that way?
I think for myself, it was like social media,
Okay.
and I don't know if I can say TV because I don't really watch TV.
By the way, how old are you?
But I'm 28.
Okay. Social media. Okay.
Yeah.
Was your mom married?
And no.
Okay. Was your okay? Does she have any other kids, or were you the only one?
She has more kids.
Same father or different
Yeah.
father?
Different father, and I'm the oldest.
How many fathers?
And I'm the product of a booty call.
Okay.
2.
2 fathers. And how many
Yeah.
kids total?
3.
So 1 by your father and 2 by the other guy?
Yeah, by my stepdad.
Okay, but they got married?
No.
Oh, you call him stepdad?
They got together when I was like a year.
Yeah. You just call him stepdad out of respect.
Yeah,
All right. So when you ever ask your mom why she never married?
I mean, I know she because they broke up once I was like 11, and then she never dated a good guy, like.
Huh.
And by that I mean like she kind of dated like drug dealers and
Unavailable,
people who would like
unavailable men.
on her.
Unavailable men.
Yeah.
Let me. There's a good reason why women tend to do that. I've seen a lot of this in my life. Women tend to date men that they know are unavailable when they know those guys were disposable to her. They could be around for a short time. Probably the sex was good, but never had to rise to the level to where she had to take him seriously. He probably matched her relationship skill level. Have you? And you probably, and like I said, have you ever asked her? And that says to me, you've never asked her, mother, why didn't you ever decide to go get married? Why didn't you marry my stepdad? Why didn't you? Because I asked my mother when I was a boy, why don't you marry him? He's a nice guy. I asked him, why don't you square up and marry him? You like these stupid dudes. And she just liked that side. She just liked life that way.
Yeah.
Do you have any? Do you have any friends that are married?
Well, I'm married and my best friend is married.
Okay, cool. And do you go to college?
I currently go to college right now.
And what does your mother think of your husband?
She doesn't. My husband is very stand-up. Okay, my husband is a black man, and my family, I'm biracial.
Okay.
And he kind of has, he doesn't say it, but I think he has issues with like white people a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So he like just doesn't feel comfortable around my mom.
Your mom's white?
And yeah.
But how does she?
And
But
like,
what does she say?
like,
What does she? How does she feel about him?
She thinks he's a great guy from what she knows, but she's always kind of like, like he doesn't speak to me, like, I don't know. It's just really awkward.
Well, how long y'all been married? How long y'all been married?
5 years.
Any children?
Yeah, 2.
What does he say to you about your mother when she's not around?
Okay, so he says that because you just reminded me of what happened, because when we went through a bad spat, I kind of confided in her in some things.
Mistake.
And it was to an extent that he wasn't comfortable with.
Mistake.
So now he thinks like she is holding those things over him, which
Or,
she isn't
yeah.
in his mind.
Well, hold on. You made a mistake. You made cardinal rule number
I
one.
know.
You took your,
I know.
okay, but your husband sees things that you can't.
Mm.
There's a reason his spidey senses are up about your mother.
Hmm. Okay.
Have you ever asked him, what do you think of my mother? Honey,
No.
well, if you,
Write that down.
yeah, because you need to ask him, what do you think of my mother? Because your mother, to me, sounds like a woman I would keep my wife away from. Definitely my grandkids. My children would be around mom in family visits. And because she doesn't sound like the grandmotherly type. She's not baking cookies and knitting socks and sweaters and shit. I mean, she hit the club before coronavirus hit. She hot girl summer in it.
Not, you're on track, but
I know
once I
she's a
had
damn
the
hoe. I mean, she look. Your husband sees your mom as a strag, and he does not want his wife around his strag mother-in-law. He can't tell you that because you're blind to the strag nature, but you said it. Mama didn't pick the best. I'm the product of a booty call. Then my brother, my two other siblings were from another dude. And after that, she was dating, Dimebag Daryl and them, dealers and shit like that. So she was. You think that they were taking her to the mayor's ball and Chamber of Commerce meetings and American Heart Association ball? No. What were they? No. What were they exactly? And your husband says, "I know exactly what. I know Mama was a strawberry. I know what she was, and even if she wasn't, and then you went and confided in her." And he's like, "Damn." You went and told your mom, who I already don't think that highly of, our personal business. Are y'all living in the same city?
No.
Good. You can love your mother. You're supposed to. But your priority on this planet is your husband. Your husband come before your kids.
Yeah.
So what don't we do again? We don't go to anybody in the family about husband. If you're going to talk to anybody about husband, you go, I don't know if you're religious, you go to a counselor, but you keep your married business around married. You don't talk to single people about married stuff. You damn sure don't talk about relationship stuff. Because you going to forgive him. He going to forgive you. Relations don't forgive. Y'all plan on having any more children?
He wants more, but I don't. He wants one more.
Okay. Are you working?
I run a daycare in home.
Okay. And does he make is he paying the majority of the bills?
Yeah.
Is your money required or is it on top of?
It's not required.
So why aren't
but
you
it's a good buffer.
So why aren't you gonna give your husband his other child?
I'm gonna give it to him, but I'm just hoping he changes his mind. But
whoa, hold on. I need you to lean in a little bit. Lean in, Nicole. Lean in.
Yeah.
Lean in a little bit. Leaning in.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me do it again. Hold on. What you mean?
Goodness.
You hope he changes his mind?
Because it was rough. Like when I got pregnant,
baby girl. Your husband is doing. I didn't say you got to get. Okay, but you saying you hoping to change his mind. You didn't say I'm waiting till my body's ready.
Well, then that's what I'm saying. I'm working on my
No,
body, and
ma'am,
then as
ma'am.
soon as
Nicole, lean back in. Hold on. You said, I hope he changed his mind. You didn't say, yes, I'm going to give him another child. I just got to get my body back. You said the truth the first time. And let me tell you what a dad would tell you. You sound like you got a good man.
I do.
Your bills are a buffer. He's carrying the load. There are plenty of people. There are plenty of women out there that your husband's black.
Yeah.
Only 26 out of 100 black women have a black man. You better give him whatever the hell he's asking for and can pay for. Immediately. Immediately. With a smile on your face in French toast. What the French? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. You're right.
I know. And
I don't got a dad, to be like.
But then again, you'll have the kids will have more balance. If you got 3 of them, you got a 1 in 3 shot that one of them's gonna turn out to be about something. Good. It's better. And honestly, the 3rd kid, just go ahead and you don't want to not give your husband what he wants for selfish reasons. Now, if you were to say it's a medical issue, I may have preeclampsia, high risk pregnancy. But if it's just it's hard on my body or whatever, because see, let me just say something. You would not like it if he came back home and said, "Hey, I found me a little Hagar.
Nah.
I found Hagar, Sarah."
Yeah.
I really.
No.
All right then. Well then open up the womb. It's his. It's yours. Go ahead and give him the last one, and then y'all just go ahead, snip, close it out. You say you got a daycare. You ain't got to pay for it.
I know.
That's why I keep slapping. That's why I keep slapping you, because I'm like, you got a daycare.
I love kids, but it's just on my body,
Okay. Well, what you do is you say, "Hey, boo, you know that second was hard on me. I need this. I'm going to need a personal trainer to help me keep this tight together." And then you tell him what you need and let him go get the paper. Don't take that man's child on his decision. Tell him what you need. Huh?
Yeah. He would do that too.
I know he would. Tell him what you need and let him go do it. Don't tell him no. See, black women, stop telling your men no. Tell them yes. Say yes to everything that's humanly possible, because you want him to say yes to you.
Sure.
All right then. Name him Kevin.
All right.
Or at least I'll be the godfather of that baby.
Yeah, we're gonna have it now.
Thank you, Nicole. Bye-bye. I just made her an offer she couldn't refuse. So I love it to when I want to see your wife, and where's your wife, and da-da. Judge the validity of the advice. Stop trying to get all up in my private life. You just mad because you ain't got your shit going. So there it is. There it is. At the end of the day, here's what it comes down to. Some things brothers can slide on, but some of this stuff if it ain't you, sis, look at some of your show enough biological sisters or your friends and ask, are they falling into this category? Could Rebecca Lynn Pope have found him a match if she tried? Or is she suffering from this modern derangement syndrome, aiming too high? New church love gurus and social media, keeping up with the Joneses. Impossible standards, too hard to please, living outside your means, rather work being by themselves like that other, I can do bad by myself. That's dumb. Bad marriage for life. You better get on board. Immature, childish. Thinking you're the schniznit. You're not in a position to be that picky. We're human beings. We do better as couples. We're not meant to be alone. And the black community has been programmed and told, yeah, man, you stay over there. Yeah, woman, you stay over there. Yeah, y'all war together. And everybody else is just building together. I remember, I think back to the 80s and early 90s, the first time in Oklahoma, we actually had Hispanics and Mexicans come in. It was like, what? Where are they from? Oklahoma was legitimately black and white and Native American. Inside of 15 years, they had taken over a side of town. Now they got entire neighborhoods. And like in 15 years. Why? Because they don't kill their kids. They don't. Planned Parenthood will go out of business in the barrio. They don't buy Pine Sol, they buy Fabuloso. They go to their grocery store. You know the little groceria. They go to their grocery store with that funny smell. They go over there and get that funny bread that ain't quite sweet, but it ain't quite not sweet. They got the restaurant over there where you go get the street tacos. They got the drinks over here. They got the Mexican Coke with the real cane sugar. The sodas are the best because it's in a glass bottle. You know, they got that music playing. Everybody got the calling cards over there. Everybody about this tall up in there. And they be up in there, you know, kids in, you know, pajamas and a Halloween mask and skates. Looking like straight out the projects in the 70s. But little man with his wife, you know, he got his cerveza and hey, and then women sitting over there with the inner tube. But they're together. Oh, they're together. They are together. Then the young dudes, when it's nighttime, they get in that big ass truck with them boots that are turned up like that and that big fucking hat, and they go to the Tejano Club. And you go, if you ever go by the Tejano Club, that mother sucker is packed. No one packs a club like my Mexican brothers. Woo-wee! Go on the corner. I mean, you can't find no parking. It's tight up in that mud. Like cars forever. Don't go in there trying to holler at no woman. You will come up missing. You need to keep your eyes straight ahead and your hands at 10 and 2. They will cut you. They will cut you. Try that cool, I'm tough, I'm tall in there. No. Don't dance with none of them. Don't say nothing unless you ain't rolling that deep, bruh. I'm sorry, you ain't. Unless you got 50, you ain't rolling that deep. They'll overcome you with the numbers. But they got their stuff. Guess what? They ain't doing nothing except what we used to do. That used to be us. You go to Zaxby's or Wingstop or anywhere else, and you see grandma and grandpa at this table, mom and dad over here. Then you see the newlywed couples over here and this table, and then the kids at these tables. They got like 6 tables in the whole damn restaurant, sharing a bunch of wings and fries and, you know, hopscotch and jacks and eating them crazy ass churro pops and shit. And then they come in and they'll change the TV to something, you know, that I don't even understand Spanish. But Zaxby's turned the TV for them because there's 25 of them in there. But they're there. Ain't nobody going to get in the Mercedes. Ain't nobody going to get in the Mercedes. Red bottoms, what? Red bottoms. The only way they got red bottoms, they step in some red dirt. Air conditioning? Maybe, maybe not. Braces? Maybe, maybe not. But they smile, they laugh. And you sitting over there by your damn self, eating your combo meal. No woman over here, no woman over here, no kid, no husband, no wife. You see black people coming in here by themselves, black man, black woman. Y'all don't even look at each other. They don't even look at each other and smile with each other. Look at her. She look at you look at her. Y'all don't even sit back and like, like we strangers. This shit's got to stop, man. Knock it off. Reparations. Without black couples, you can't have black nothing. And it can't just be short term or until he makes some money or whatever. He can't be here unless he got a job. Well, you can't be there unless you're 120 pounds. Knock it off. Get your 300-pound ass and your no working ass together and live until you both die. Knock it the French toast off. It's time to put the stupid shit down. Everybody else seemed to do it. Take what I just said. Go out to Arkansas in the trailer park. You'll see the same stuff over there. Go to Little Vietnam. We don't have no black neighborhood. We don't have no black side of town. We got black people that live in neighborhoods. If not, we can choose to stop this at any time. You just got to give up your. Okay, Kevin, that sounds good. That sounds good. How do we stop it? Give up your right to be right. Give up your right to be right. Something I learned in therapy. Stop trying to be right. Live with being correct. Give up your right to be right. Like the woman I said with the husband. Give up your right to be right. You're right. He don't have a job. He ain't shit. He ain't earning enough. All right, cool. Can you find a way? If he can self-sustain himself, then shut up. Just like I talked to the other women. Oh yeah, I got you coming too, lady. Oh yes, Keisha. Was that your name, Keisha? The mother with the oh yeah, you coming too. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. If he can be self-sufficient enough to be at your house every couple of days for his kids, then I can't hear this stuff that he ain't got no job. He ain't sitting in a cardboard box Monday, Tuesday, then show up on Wednesday, go back to the cardboard box, Thursday, Friday, come back on Saturday. He's got to be somewhere. Give up your right to be correct and knock off this whole perfection thing. You broke, he broke, y'all be broke together. MGTOW, that's why MGTOW ain't gonna do it either, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what that. Life is about people. Life is about people. Networks, groups, not loners. I don't have time to go into that one, so that's just a different side of the same coin. Do what makes you happy. But what's your hospice care plan? What's your end-of-life care plan? Who's your in case of emergency? Because all that stuff's going to matter. But at the end of the day, what's driving black women crazy today? Wanting more than they should have. Wanting more than you should have. You're wanting more than you deserve to ask for. No, you don't deserve to ask for that. No, it's not okay to say you can dream and have everything. We basically told the black community that you can have whatever you wish and set your sights high enough. And if you want a millionaire, then no. Relationships are hard work. They're ugly. They're complicated. They're complex. You can get about 80% at best of what you want. And that's when you're young. Because unless you're going to be 100% of what somebody wants, 80% is not a bad deal. And instead of worrying about somebody getting 80% to give you, you need to make sure you got 80% to give to somebody. All right. But until the next time, peace. Oh no, what do they say? Delusional? Yeah, folks is real delusional. Yeah, we up out of here, starting to rain. The weather's getting kind of crazy. Oh yeah, 15 minutes. Got a little delivery coming. Yeah, it's good to be the king. Where'd she go?
In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right. No, it's not hard to
the frat room on IG. Join me in the frat room on IG for videos that are only there. Up, they're up, when they're gone, they're gone. Catch the live streams daily. Fragrance of the day, Cartier. Ooh, this stuff is true. Email your show ideas to info@bykevinsamuels.com or book your one-on-one session at bykevinsamuels.com. Do not write me a long email telling me your life story. I will not read it and I will block you. Respect my inbox.
Addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way I follow.
If you appear on the show, you have no privacy. You decide to come onto the show,